Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV now on YouTube. Our address is very simple, youtube.com/NDTV. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor taking you through the top stories of the day. So the drill remains the same. Every morning on Good Morning India, I give you 5 stories to pick on. And the ones that get maximum of your votes is what you and I discuss on our YouTube platform. Well, I was pretty sure this is going to be a story that's going to attract your attention even today because that's how absurd it really is. It's about how in UP, notice has been sent to a dead man for violence that was seen in the area. Now imagine that. A dead man along with 2 other men who are both above 90, 94, 95 around, and they have been asked by UP police to go all the way to the courts, get a bail warrant, and then prove and tell the UP police that they are not harming the peace in the area. Why would police do that? To understand that, you have to look at the big picture of Uttar Pradesh at this point. There have been protests against the CAA across the country, but one state where maximum violence and deaths took place was Uttar Pradesh. 21 people in UP have lost their lives in anti-CAA protests, hundreds injured, hundreds behind bars. This includes some policemen as well who've been injured. And at this point, the point in case we are talking about this FIR or this case against a dead man that the UP police has talked about is in the place called Firozabad. Let me go to the details just about specifically this case. Now, on the 20th of December, there was violence reported in Western Uttar Pradesh's Firozabad. 35 cases were registered, 29 people named, 14 of them were arrested and jailed. And the interesting bit, now it comes. After all of this happened and 14 people were arrested and FIRs were written off, after all of that, UP police filed sent out notices in fact, to 200 more people and asked them to give it out in pen and paper and prove to the UP police why they are not the ones causing harm and disrupting peace in the area. To quote that notice directly, it says, notice is sent to at least 200 people asking them to prove why would they not be a threat to peace in the area. And this move comes after Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath's promise of action on protests and the fact that he said we will take badla or revenge last month. Now, amongst those who've been sent these notices is a man called Banne Khan. The interesting bit about this man is that he does not exist anymore. He died 6 years ago and he died at the age of 94. He is amongst, bizarre, right? He is amongst these 200 people who've been sent notices by UP police to prove to them now why they're not the ones disrupting peace in the area. And he's not the only one. There are 2 more people. Let me bring you details of that as well. 2 men in their 90s, 93-year-old Fasahat Meer Khan, who's been bedridden for months, and 90-year-old Sufi Ansar Hussain, who's suffering from pneumonia and has just returned from a Delhi hospital after his treatment. They have also received similar notices. Mr. Khan also, this is the man who's been bedridden for quite some time, is the founder of a college in Firozabad, while Mr. Hussain has been a caretaker at a local mosque for about 6 decades or so. Now, the instant reaction that obviously you expect from UP police when the story got out, obviously they were very embarrassed about the whole situation, but they said, no, we will not be taking any action against these elderly and they should be rest assured that there will be no action taken against them. While that may be true, while that just may be the case that no formal FIR is against them, while UP police is right that they might not go and arrest them or detain them, but in India, you have to understand the fact that what does this effectively mean? the notice effectively means that they have to go in front, present themselves in front of a magistrate, get a bail warrant from them. And in this case, the bond is about 10 lakh rupees. They have to apply for bail and they have to go and sign this surety in front of a magistrate to ensure that, well, we are here and we acknowledge the fact that we are not the ones disrupting peace in the area. Simple, right? That's what the UP police is saying. But please remember, the context of this is that in India, process is punishment. You put people through long formalities, through paperwork, elderly citizens who are bedridden. If you look at the shots, and I'll play those shots out also for you of both these gentlemen. If you look at them right now, you'll get to know who exactly they are. There are also pictures and there are also death warrants. This is the man who's now dead. His son now sits with a picture of him and says, well, how is he disrupting peace? A dead man. He has a death certificate for that as well. Further on, when you go and see, you will see that these two elderly men, both in their 1993, are actually quite old. This is the man who returned from Delhi just last week after going through a treatment. This is the other one who's bedridden in the cold of UP winter. In those really abnormal temperatures and the freak winter that we have seen this time around, this elderly man is expected to, this is a story we highlighted on our show Good Morning India as well, and he is expected to go to the magistrate, go to the UP courts, present them with a bond, get a bail, sign all of that, and the UP police, this gentleman that you see over here, in the administration, that is saying, be rest assured, no action will be taken against senior citizens. Then why did you have to send notices to them in the first place? And who's creating this list? That is of concern at this point. When I spoke about this to my colleagues in UP, they said, well, there are now reports coming up that there were beat constables. For those of you who don't understand that, well, beat constables are basically constables in the local thanas and the local chowkis and the local police stations in your area who are told to keep a tap on and who are generally expected to keep a tap on the entire neighborhood, know the who's and who and understand and be like the eyes and ears of the police in that area. These beat constables in this area were sent out. They went to all these houses, spoke with people. And it is even after that sort of verification that they had a list like this that had a dead man in it and also two senior citizens, extremely 90-year-old senior citizens, one who's bedridden, and then they formulated that list. So what's going on in UP? That, of course, is of clear concern. At the moment, I just want to read out for the benefit of giving you both sides of the story, actually, the response that we've got from the magistrate in this case. The Firozabad city magistrate, his name is Kuvar Pankaj Singh. You just saw his shot over there. He says there was a lot of pressure on us to maintain peace and there was interim measure taken based on reports from various police stations. No action, then he says, will be taken against any elderly people. Now this statement says a lot of things. He's saying a lot of pressure was on us to maintain peace and there have been interim measures which have been taken. Who's exerting this pressure? Is the statement of the government exerting pressure? And in order to maintain peace, why do you have to put through people through such a long process of law? Like I said, in India, process is punishment. You're putting all these 200 people through that. Hundreds of them are still behind bars. And in a case where you have an FIR, you have named people, you have even detained several one of them, where was the need of all of this? That, of course, is the reason that we are talking about this really, really bizarre incident today. Now, as we come towards the end, let me also tell you, in UP, while we're talking about protests today, also across India, there are several protests planned out. There is one in Bengaluru where anti-CAA protests are going to happen. There is another one in the national capital spearheaded by women who are marching all the way to India Gate. There's another one in Chennai, we are told, where protests are also taking place. So clearly, 2020, new year, but the anger in people against CAA is not dying down any time soon. It also comes at a time when, as I told you yesterday also in our broadcast yesterday as well, that the government is also in 2020 trying out a reach out exercise, trying to tell the people and communicate with them firsthand on what their understanding of CAA and NRC and NPR is. So both things are going along. Clearly not the last we've heard of this story, and we'll have to see where this goes moving forward. The next step in the CAA movement really is going to come from the courts. The courts are listing into a batch of 60 petitions, 59 against the CAA, and once the Constitution bench sits in, that's where all the answers are expected. That's going to be the next stop for all things, the entire debate over CAA that's on in the country. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.